welcome to Planet1wp. My name is Josie Carr. I am the host of Planet1wp. Today we're going to be talking about the smart controls in Logic, how to map them to parameters and plugins, and how to map them to external controllers, and also how to save them so we can use them again. So the other one that I've done a few. I've done a couple of them for Ableton, a lot of them actually for Ableton. I love Logic, but Logic is sometimes finicky with the way you have to do things. But now they're trying to obviously work with Ableton and be competitors. They got the live loops happening and stuff like that. So today we'll talk about how we can do that. So I'm going to just play a quick little beat I put together just to show you guys how I map the parameters and how you could use them for live performances. I've mapped them to their remix effect, their new plugin that they have that's super cool to perform with as well. So let me just switch my controllers around and I'll play a little bit of that and turn some knobs. It might be a little crazy, but just for you guys can get the idea of the things that you can do, and then we'll go into how to map them. So that's just a loose idea, just really crazy, not organized as far as a live performance would be. Obviously, you would take your time and lay it out, but it's just a demonstration that you can actually map external controllers to the smart controls once you've mapped them in smart control and kind of make them do whatever you want to do. Now I'm using the MK3 controller. I could have also used my Novation launch that I have over here, or maybe my push controller, or my any controller that you have that's mappable, has knobs and sliders, and you can map, connect it to Logic, and you'll be fine. So let's talk a little bit about how I did that. Logic has a new feature, as we know, this year. They've started to compete with Ableton, and now they have their live loops that you can record them into the tracks area, sort of like Ableton has the session into the so forth. And they have a pretty cool plugin, which is the one that I'm using here, and it's called Remix Plugin. So it has one deck, and it has two decks and two in between and a few effects. But these here are changeable. If you press on filter, instead of it being a filter, you can let it be a reverb and so forth. So every time you hit this one, I'll show you. It's pretty cool. And then this one is on repeater. Right? But if you wanted it to be on reverb, then you can put it on reverb. Okay, so now we're going to leave it on filter, okay? So the first thing that we want to do if we want to use, to be able to map the smart controls and everything else, is we have to make sure that Logic is in advanced mode. So we go to preferences here and we go to advanced tools, and we make sure that these are all enabled. So if they're not, just make sure they are, hit enable all. Because when you first get Logic, it comes, user friendly. And then as you get better, then, obviously you would turn on the advanced features in Logic. So let's turn them off the back. Okay, once we've done with that, we're pretty cool. Okay, so now here what I did was, since I wanted to affect the whole track, I actually added that remix to the master track. Okay, and I'll show you how I did that. Let me close my area here. Whoops. Cool. And I'll go into my mixer here. And let's switch it over. I'll use shortcuts, and you guys should be able to see my mixer. So I have a master track here, and I'm going to do some automation later on. I can leave it here if I wanted to, which is not a problem. But I want to bring it into my arrangement area. So I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say show. Right now it's showing. So, obviously defies the point. You see it's not showing now in my arrangement here. Okay. Let me turn on my tool here so you guys can actually see a little bit better. Cool. So here we are. So as you guys can see, the master track is not there. So I definitely want to put the master track there. So I'm going to right click again on the master track, or control click if you want to. And I'm going to go show output track. And it brings it over here, which is good because we want to be able to open up the smart controls in it, and we want to be able to have access to it. So it's good to do that. Okay, let me switch here so I make sure. By the way, since I'm doing this live and it's just me, if I open a window and you guys can't see what I'm doing, please write in the chat for me to move the windows out of the way, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Okay. So here we are. We have the master track that's open. Now, if I hit the letter B for boy, it will open up the smart controls here at the bottom, or I can go up here and hit the smart controls icon. Okay. And it will open up as a default. Okay. Since I've already set it up, it's probably not a good idea for me to use this track with you guys, but this is where you would want to put it on your master track if you wanted to affect all the tracks. If you wanted to affect just one track, then drop it on whatever track you want, the remix effect. You go to audio effects and drop it on there, okay? So what I did here to continue to move, I created another track for us, and on that track, I'm actually going to add the remix effect. And here we have it on there. Okay, and you guys can see that it opens up the remix effect here. And at the bottom here, it opens up the smart controls because I opened up the smart controls here. And it's already mapped. It gives us a default automatic mapping. It assumes that we want to use the filter and all these kinds of things. And don't really want to use any of that. I want to just set it up my way. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the I here. Okay, so it gives us information about the smart control, and I'm going to make sure that I'm on track. If I were working on the master like this one, I could hit master, by the way, but I'm just going to work on this track. You see how it's set to automatic smart controls? I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to select my own. Okay, I know that I have 8 knobs that I want to map, so I kind of like the modern 8. So you can have 12 knobs if you have one that had 12 knobs and so forth. I think I'm going to go with the modern black 8, which is the one I use. There we go. You see that? And it has those already still mapped. I don't want any of those, to be quite honest with you. I just want to get rid of all of them, So I can select here and get rid of all of them, select them all, or restart everything, or delete all patch mappings. So you see, it starts fresh. So I got rid of them. I want to do my own mapping. So here I am. The first thing I want to do, parameter mappings. I want to map parameters of this plugin to these knobs. Okay, I'm going to highlight the first knob here. I'm going to hit learn, and I'm going to move a parameter. I'm just going to click in the middle. You see, because I want to be able to turn it on and off. Okay, the next thing I want to do is map another parameter to the same knob, right? Because we turn it on, but then we also want to be able to use the filter. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to click add mapping. And on that one, it's unmapped, right? I'm going to select here. I'm going to go to the remix effect, and I am going to go to the filter, and I want to do the cutoff. Okay, there we go. So now when I turn this knob, it's going to do two things for me. It's going to turn on that effect, and then it's going to filter it as well. Okay? Now let's do the second one here. Why don't we do the repeater over here? Same thing. I highlighted the knob. I hit learn. And it's going to turn it on first. And then I want to add another parameter to it, right? And I'm going to assign that to the remix again. And that one, I'm going to do repeater. And let's see if we do maybe the rate might be cool. Let's try. Now let's actually try the mix to see how we feel with that. Okay. So now when I turn that one should be able to control both the on and the mix. And for this example, I'm just going to do 3, and then I'm just going to go to the one I already did to save us the work and the time. Okay. The third one, I would probably map it to this here. Okay. I highlight it, I hit learn, and I'm just going to move that. And you can see that it's on and off. Again, we want to map it to two things. We want to be able to turn this knob, it turns on, and then we affect whatever effect. So again, I go right here to that mapping. I go add mapping. Now I look for the gator, remix, gator. And then on that one, we're going to do, let's do the depth. Okay. When I turn that knob, it will do both. Okay. So now I'm pretty cool with that for now 3. And we can change the name, by the way, up here if this knob by clicking on it, and you can call it whatever you want. You know, you can call it filter cutoff or low cut or something, filter low cut. I think I made this one high pass. Yeah, so low cut. Let's do that. So you can also name them, by the way. Cool. So now I've assigned them to those parameters, but now I want to assign it to this controller. This is an external controller. The first thing I want to make sure is that it is connected via USB, that Logic is recognizing it, which I know it is because when I hit play, it plays it. Again, if you guys want this template to be able to do that with your Maschine controller, there's a video that I have. It's called using the MK3 as a keyboard or drum pad with Logic, and I have a pretty cool template you guys can download. Cool. So now I want to do the external one. We know it's an external assignment, so I'm just going to close this one. We've already done the parameters, and I'm going to open this one here. I'm going to click on the first knob. I'm going to hit learn, and I'm going to turn the first knob. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for the second one. Second knob, third knob, turn, and there we go. Did I do the second one? Let's make sure. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. No, I didn't do the second one. So let's do the second one. I signed that incorrectly. Let's fix that. Cool. And now let's do the third one. Oops, let's open that up again. And we'll do the third one. Great. So now if I were to play the track, so basically that's how you map parameters and external keyboards. But now we have to do something further, right? You saw how I was moving. It didn't have kind of the same effect it had when I was playing the intro for you guys. It's because once you map them, you also have to kind of go in there and tweak them out. Make them work the way you want. Filters could be low cut, high cut, band pass, all kinds of filtering. But mainly for live performances, a low cut, high cut are good filters to use, you know, with reverb as well. So now you guys know how to map them and know how to use controllers. So I'm just going to turn this one off, right? We don't need it now. And I'm just going to go back to the one I already did because it's just easier to, for the sake of time, for us to do that. So here we are. I'm going to open that remix. I'm on that track. I'm going to hit play. So those are doing exactly what I wanted them to do. I wanted this one to be a low cut, the first knob. I wanted the second one to control the beat repeat one. but I wanted it to work the way I want it to work, not the way that it was working. So let's fix that, right? Let's go to the first knob, which is the filter cutoff here. Okay, it's still on. Okay, and I want to show you guys something that's pretty interesting. If you guys take a look at my controller here, you guys will see that there are no indicators of whether or not it's on or off. That's why I keep the remix plugin open on the window, but I also take a look at the Maschine Controller's interface, because if I turn it on, I can see a white line starts to appear, so I know that it's on, right? So because when you can start turning a bunch of stuff and get kind of confused, you see, you don't know who's on right now. So this is a good indicator, these white lines. If I turn it all the way down, I know it's off. See, I have no indicators. So that's a good way. And by labeling these correctly, you also know what you're working with. So cool, let's get to business. I'm going to hit knob number 1 here. And remember, I'm going to close my external assignment because I don't need that anymore. I'm going to go to my parameter mapping at the top. Remember that we set it off, so when we turn this knob, it would turn the filter on and off, and it would also start to filter out the low frequencies, okay? So the first thing I went here on filter on and off, I'm going to open that, right? You click on that parameter setting and you hit open, okay? It's going to open up this way. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see that. Yep, you guys can see that. It's going to open up this way. We want to change that. We don't want it to be the way you think we want to work. So I'm first going to do is I'm going to check that there. Okay, and it's going to show up like this. Okay, now I'm going to show you what that means, guys. Okay, we know that we want it to turn on as soon as we turn this knob, right? So if this turns orange, it means it's turning on, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to play the track. You see that blue dot right there? Look what happens. It's gonna wait for me to get halfway, and look at the line on the controller halfway before it turns on. And it's filtering already. So I'm catching it in the middle of a filter. I don't want that behavior. I want, when I turn this knob, for you to turn on. Okay? So we have a straight line here. I'm gonna go all the way here to the end, and I'm gonna drag it. And it's kind of finicky, by the way. You guys gotta really like mess with it, right? You see, it was turning on like around here, 60 or 50. I needed to turn on like around 4. 4 is pretty good, because sometimes you might accidentally hit it if you have it too low, and it will just be on all the time. So try to shoot for like around 4 or 3. Those are pretty good numbers. Okay, so watch now. When I move it, you see, gives me time and it starts. Okay, I'll play it again. And that's what I want. So that is what we do. Once we set the parameters, then we want to go in and we want to tweak them. Okay, so we did the on and we changed it so it wouldn't start at 50 on the knob. It would start like around at a 4, like little turn of the knob, and we're good. Okay, the next one we want to do is we want to decide what filter cutoff do we want. Do we want low cut, or do we want low pass, right? Or high cut? So we have a filter here. Again, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hit open. Okay. And remember, it's going to open up this way. And then you have to hit the step to get in here. Okay. I'm just going to change this. Just again, I just want to make sure you guys get it. It's going to open up like this. I don't want that. I want this. And then that's going to open up like this. Okay. So watch what that means. I'm going to play it. It's starting with the highs cut off, and as I turn it, the lows is gonna get cut off and the highs are gonna come in. I can leave it like that if I want it. That's actually not that bad. It's not bothering me too much, but I want to kind of have like a little curve on there. So I'm gonna take this guy right here and I'm gonna add the curve, and then I can move this curve like this. And I don't want it to start so fast filtering. Maybe I want a little space in between. Okay, it's all your taste. You listen to it, and as you turn your knob, you see how it feels. Okay. I'll bring it down a little bit. It's too fast. See, that feels nice to me. Okay. So those have been done. So remember, you can add the parameters, then map them to your external controller, and then go in there and tweak those parameters out by clicking on the parameter and hitting open. Remember, when you want it to, you have to map it to two things. You can map it to multiple things. I mean, there's so many things you can map it to. I'll give you a perfect example. I mapped this one also to the reverb. Okay, so this knob is mapped to the reverb even though it's hidden. Okay, as well. There we go with that. I gotta get rid of the okay. So besides being a filter cutoff, you could also map it to the resonance if you want it by simply going here, add a mapping, and then look for whatever you want to map it to. You see that? One knob could be mapped to different things. It's all up to you. I can make it do the reverb at the same time. So when I'm turning this knob, it's going to add reverb as well. Okay, so I'll show you. But we also have to turn on the reverb, don't we? So let's map the reverb as well so that when we turn that knob, it turns on the reverb and then we can turn it up as we go. Okay, so let's go to reverb on and off. And remember, I want to change that so it doesn't wait halfway to turn on. I'm going to change it from step. Okay, and I'm going to reset that there. And I'm just going to move this guy so it'll start at around, maybe a little bit later, right, this time. But 4 is always good. Because maybe we want it to filter and then we want the reverb to kick in. Okay, so let's try that. So we know that's definitely too much, too fast. So let's move that over so it starts later. Maybe halfway will be good. And let's change this so it won't be so drowned out, so much reverb before it starts to kick in. Let's give it a listen. As it plays, we can do it, by the way, as well. Okay, I'm feeling that. And now let's change the mix of it, right? So this is start too early. And again, it's finicky. These arrows are very finicky. And maybe not so much reverb. Okay. So that's pretty cool for me. So remember, you can map one map to multiple things as well. So you can see that one knob, I mapped it to the filter, for you can turn the filter on and off, for you can change the filter cutoff. Then I used it for you can also turn the reverb on and change the reverb mix. And the external mapping is so easy. It's just pretty much click and learn and assign. So those are a few things that you have to do. I mean, those are the things you have to do to make it work. Now, how the heck do we save it? So we can use it in any other project that we may want to, and we don't have to do all this work, because this was a lot of work. Going in there and mapping stuff. Remember, you can name these guys, by the way. Just highlight the name of them and call them what you want. I call them by numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because for me, it's easier to see when you are doing like gigs and things like that, or when you're messing around, you want to do automation. It's just pretty easy to see. Okay. So the first thing we want to do when we want to save them, okay, is go to the master track here. And since it was placed on a master track above here where we have channel strip settings, we would save it. Channel strip as, and you guys will see that it will go into an output track and call it master track with remix effects, whatever you're using, and hit save. I've saved 2 versions of it, so I don't want to save another one, and then you would hit save. Okay. The next thing you want to do, because this one can only be used on a master track, is create an audio track. Okay, so I've created an empty audio track. You guys can see audio 7. And I'm going to go back to the master track, and instead of saving it this time, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to the empty new track here. I'm going to go back to the channel strip setting, and I'm going to paste it there. Okay, and I'm going to change the name of this track to audio. Okay, and I'll double check and make sure it works before I save it. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. This one is great. Everybody looks good. We're good. We're good money. Okay, so I know that I feel confident about that. Now I want to save this, so every time I want to use this map control, I can do it on an audio track. So here I'm going to go, and I'm going to go save channel strip as. And this time you see that it goes on the track. Okay, and that one I would probably call audio track with remix effect. I've already done it. I'm going to hit close. So now if I were to create a new audio track, an empty one, I can just go up here to setting, and you guys will see that I have the 2 versions on there. Audio track with the remix effect, all done. I don't have to map it again. Okay, let's look at the mapping here. Let's open it up, and you guys can see that it's done. I don't have to do it again. Okay, if I want to use it on a master track, same deal. Go to the master track, go to the setting here, and set it up with any of the ones that were saved. So thank you for checking out my tutorial for today. It's a little bit techy, I get it, but I think you guys will find some useful information in just how to be able to map the smart controls in Logic and do some pretty interesting stuff. I mean, I think the remix effect that they added, I think is super cool, hands down. And I mean, they did copy a lot of Ableton's workflow, and I still prefer Ableton for certain aspects for performing, but I think this is a really, really good way to go, you know, for mapping of smart controls. And the saving of it, they need to get it better. There should be no reason why they should be saved as channel strip settings. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. My name is Josie Carr. Thank you for coming to Planet1wp. Again, if you guys want to learn how to make your Logic start from your MK3, check out my video, how to use the MK3 as a keyboard controller or drum pad with Logic, that I have online as well. And the intro song that you guys heard is my bootleg version of Underground Is My Home. Check it out. I think it's pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night. Ciao.